But AEW's business is bouncing back a little bit. They had a rough go there for
It is.
Revolution. I'm pulling up the numbers now. Revolution actually did in between 135,000, 140,000 pay-per-view buys. I mean, it was down from last year's Revolution, but that was an anomaly because of the Sting match. Yeah, but it since All In last year, it's doing great. They're still working some of the smaller venues for weekly TV, but they're doing pretty good there. And then Revolution had like over 10,000 paid, like close to $1 million gate. Ratings seem to have stabilized. We'll never know what the max numbers are, and I'm honestly kind of sick of people talking about them because we'll never, like, if you don't get the actual numbers, I don't fucking care. So stop bringing it up, right? Like Peacock and NBC tried that with the biggest work event, and we called bullshit on them. I'm doing the same thing to anybody that's talking about max numbers. Let's just call bullshit because we don't have the numbers. If they're not going to give them to them, we're not talking about them. But TV ratings seem to have stabilized.
The biggest work in wrestling right now is these streaming numbers. Yeah. Because like Dave was talking about how they reset. Like, if you could watch the show 3 times and you count as 3 times in the same sitting and it'll count as 3 different views. It's all work. Like it's stupid. We're beyond the part we should talk about TV ratings because that's over. Right.
Yeah.
Now, all you can look at is like how are tickets selling? Better. They're running smaller venues. The show is better with them. We said that a year ago. They should run smaller venues. They are. The show feels better. The show looks cooler, right? In these smaller places. That place they ran in San Francisco a couple weeks ago looked awesome, right? That was really cool. So I don't know, man. I think it's going good. Like I do. I think they're starting to turn things around. The pay-per-view was really good. It was really, really good. They're selling tickets again. Like it's going to be, this is, like I said, this is like WCW in like late 95, early 96. And that's that trajectory you want to be on.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're not at their peak. I see a comment. They're not, how are they? I got this comment. I'm not going to be a dick to this guy because I'm just going to explain the difference, right? How exactly is the business stabilized compared to their peak? I'm not comparing them to their peak. I'm comparing them to last year. They were on the downhill slide, right? So here's their peak in 2021. Then they're on the downhill slide, and now they're coming back up again. That's what I'm talking about. They're on an upward trajectory. I'm not saying that they're at their peak again. That's not the definition of stabilization. Stabilization is this, right? Or trending upward. Right now, they're tending to trend upward. That is a good thing. If you're insecure about AEW and you don't like the fact that they're doing well, I'm sorry. I know that's offensive, and I apologize for being actually, I don't fucking care. I'm just kidding. But I get that good news about AEW is offensive to some people because they have a hard-on for AEW. But it's trending upwards.
Mike, pull up the 1-2 down from that. This is an even dumber one. Like Jeff, I'll pull it up myself. Business is consistently down year to year. No, it isn't.
No, it
isn't.
They're making way more money. TV ratings are moving up.
Right, they're making more money with their new TV deals. Right, yes. Their shows rate are up right now. You take out the anomaly of the Sting retirement from a year ago. This is the biggest show they've done in a long time. Right, TV is flat. That's all it is it's flat. Like, again, I know it hurts people's feelings that this company isn't going to die. I know WWE fans are super insecure that there's more than one show to watch on TV. Like, it was better in the 80s and 90s, right? It was better when we had more things to watch. Come have fun with more to watch, not less to watch. In fact, listen to a podcast about how great things were in the 80s when we had multiple shows. Perhaps I can interest you in Mid-South Madness, available only on the Mike and JD Patreon show. Patreon Network. God damn it, I dropped the fucking ball.
Patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show. Mid-South Madness. We got 2 episodes out. JD is knocking out another one this week. Not only do you like review the show, but you talk about like what's going on in the world
this week in history
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do this again. Hold on. Because I'm just saying, I ain't saying, AEW is always bad. But Mike, please read this because this is like not making sense to me.
Okay. Oh, I'm not going to pick on this guy because I don't want this to become like a comment. Okay, I'm failing to see where they've stabilized. When you got the finish, you got a Revolution. That is a subjective opinion about good and bad. We're talking about business, so that's business. I got to crush that. So we got to move on from that. I'm just saying I ain't saying AEW is always bad, but at one point, are we going to criticize the company when it's needed, brother? We do that every week.
Yeah,
like we just got done doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks. Go back to some of my Tony Khan dumbface thumbnails where we buried the company. But that's what we do on this show. We call balls and strikes regardless, right? If the company's doing well, we say it. If they suck, we say it. That's what this show is about. We are not in the bag for AEW. Tony Khan's never written me a check. I would like him to, but dude, because he's got a lot of money.
I came on the show for 2.5, 3 months talking about how much I hate my hobby. Yeah. Right. I got emails from people saying you are too depressing to listen to right now because you're not fun anymore because you hate your hobby. Like, so don't come here and tell us that we're like, we talked about how JD was an asshole and she don't have to. Like, first of all, JD doesn't work for AEW. Right. I hate using my own damn name in this. He does not work for Mercedes. Like, House of Glory is its own thing. So if Mercedes is on an indie show and says, I don't want that guy commentating my match, well, guess what? Mercedes, JD from New York, way down here. Like, that's the way it goes, man.
Mercedes, multi-millionaire, internationally known YouTuber, right? That's like that. That's how it goes. So, but if you want to hear us explain how JD from New York got pulled from House of Glory, rewind. We already did that.
We did that the first rest of the show. Listen, go watch the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. Just rewind it. But AEW Revolution, March 9, 2025, crypto.com arena. I just got some notes here. 135,000, 140,000 pay-per-view buys, highest since All In, first week estimates, with 11,435 attendees, over 10,000 paid in, the gate nearing $1 million. Major financial win for AEW. And then, of course, it was outside of the main event. It was one of the best shows that they've ever done. But yeah, the main event stunk the joint up. We did a whole video about that. Stunk the joint up. And that video that I did actually did pretty well, by the way. so thank you to all of you guys for clipping. And thank you to Air Gold for the Edge looking like Hulk Hogan AI thing that I had for the thumbnail. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Absolutely
thank you. That helped out a lot. But that main event stunk so bad, they're redoing it this week on Dynamite.
Lance was saying he thinks it will do a TV number. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. So we'll see. Yeah. I mean, like if it puts a bullet in this feud, I'm fine. Tied up behind. I mean, like there's someone in the chat saying, "Oh, their house shows are selling like 4,000." Brother, they're running smaller venues.
They're not even doing 4. They're like doing 3. If that.
Again, go back and watch WCW in '96 where they were running very small venues, where they were running nightclubs, where they were running cool. Like you don't have to run NBA basketball arenas to make cool shows. Dude, Lucha Underground had a TV studio, and that show was awesome. Yeah, as far as aesthetic goes.
I really liked mid 2000s Impact and or TNA, and they were in like Universal Studios. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
But again,
ambiance and environment are more important than saying we sell out 16,000 every week when you can't. Because they were trying to do that a year ago. They were trying to run these big NBA venues and playing in caverns, and it wasn't working. This is better.
Well, and that's not the argument. If you're only comparing them to WWE, right? Say, well, they can't be successful because they're not WWE. Well, then it's like they're never going to be successful, and I guess you're always going to win that argument, right? But what I'm saying is, if you compare them to themselves from a year ago, business is trending upward. The show seems to have like leveled out. Yes, it's not perfect. There's still bad stuff on the show. I didn't think Dynamite was good last week. To be honest with you, I was bored to tears by that episode. And I thought that Hechicero versus Orange Cassidy was a bad main event. Did a decent number, but I didn't think that was like a good, like I wouldn't put that as my main event of a TV show, right? Coming off of a hot pay-per-view. I get the feeling that the roster was pretty beat up, and so that's why they just kind of trotted out some people. But I didn't think it was good last week. But that's not the topic. The topic is the business is trending back upwards. They're not at their peak, but they're getting better. And that is the argument. Anything else you guys are saying doesn't fucking matter to what I'm saying the argument is.
Well, here's the thing, too. We're in one of the 3 hottest periods in the history of WWE, right?
Yeah.
What are the other 2 periods? 1984 and 1998, right? Like, this is not wrestling is super cyclical, and it was in a down cycle for a long time. So you're going to tell me WWE as a business was failing in between the years of like 2005 to like 19 to like 2018 or 19 or 20 at 20, like until they started getting hot again. No, they were in a down spiral. Like AEW was down. Now they're starting to tick up a little bit. That's wrestling. Things cycle up, things cycle down. Read a book. Tim Hornbaker's got great stuff.
Yeah. WWE is on absolute fucking fire right now, by the way.
It is.
Dude, I know the numbers for Netflix aren't exactly what they thought they were going to be, but their like house show business is insane right now.
Phenomenal.
Is absolutely insane. SmackDown is like their ratings are doing really, their SmackDown ratings are like kind of like right or like a little bit less than what they're doing on Fox, but like much better than what people thought that they would be doing on Friday night on USA, right? They're doing fantastic. So and go ahead.
Let's put this. Phenomenal Ace. I'm just saying the booking is bad. That's all. In your opinion, if the booking was bad, the pay-per-view would not be trending upward. They wouldn't have sold more seats and they wouldn't have sold more pay-per-views. You can not like the main event booking. I think we're all in agreement there, but the rest of the show was well booked. They told good stories across the board until the main event. So, I mean, you can have opinions, but that doesn't make them realities.
Right. So they built, so for that pay-per-view, and I don't want to stay on Revolution pay-per-view. God damn it. But but on that pay-per-view, they had 3 different marquee matches, all of which could have been the main event, that blew off feuds that have been lasting a long time. Like well-built stories. Kenny Omega and Takeshita is a well-built story that's been going on for a long time. Right? Omega and Fletcher, awesome story that's been happening for a long time. And then of course you got Tony Storm and Mariah May, which like probably should have been the main event, right? And that blew off a 1-year story arc. Like I get like the people that are saying that it was just matches. That's just not true. They did have some matches on there that weren't built, but like they had like 3 amazing matches that were like, I think they all got 5 stars. That were well-built, year-long feuds. They had the main event, which was a story that I thought ended up turning out to be a good story, but the main event was flat. And then there were some other matches on the show that didn't really have much stories, but like that's fine.
Which didn't have much of a story to it on the tag team title match. The tag match, sure, that didn't have a story.
That match, the Mercedes Moné match, didn't really have like, it was just like some lady.
It was, I mean, like they built it on TV for about 3 weeks. Like it wasn't this long, deep story, but I mean, they built something. Like
but it wasn't like this in-depth story arc. No. I don't think that that's comparable to the top 4 matches. Right?
I agree.
That's all that I'm saying. And then you had Hangman and MJF, which was like a really good fucking story too, right? And opened the show. So stories up and down up and down Revolution, right? And that's why they did the best pay-per-view number that they've done since All In. And that's why we continue to criticize them on this show, because we bully that company into doing better because we know that they're capable of so much more. Let's get off of the AEW topic.